Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.
I'm Jennifer Savino, and welcome to Bite Me, where I travel around the Capital District talking with people who were bitten by the entrepreneurial bug and then they decided to start their own business in the food or beverage industry. Today we're at LT's Grill in Niskayuna, New York. LT's Grill has been whipping up their hometown fare for about 5 years now. When you come here, you're treated like family. LJ, the owner, practically knows all of his guests' names by heart. It's pretty amazing. They have everything on the menu from velvety macaroni and cheese to some of the best fall-off-the-bone ribs in the area. So let's head on inside and see how LJ's smoking the competition with his ribs.
Lunches here are quick and easy. What we try to do is, because a lot of the offices around here, between GE and Knowles and doctor's offices, they have about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. So what we've done is we created these meals to have two guys in here. We have, Dan's here, he's my assistant today. He takes care of all the grill, the panini, the fry-a-later, and cold sandwiches. So he's flying. So what we do is when we get our orders in, it's non-stop. We're constantly trying to get these things out as fast as we can. We also have a fresh salad bar that we have. It's 15 feet. We make a fresh soup every morning. Beautiful salad. We don't put the iceberg in. It's romaine, real fresh. And then we make a lot of different things between our hummuses and sliced vegetables and different types of salads that we put on there. So we have two girls and a hostess on that we're just flying. And it's just something that really kind of gels together. And in this restaurant business, you got to have a good gel, a good flow, or it's complete chaos. So you hear me, it's kind of people kind of get like, okay, LJ's here, he's working, because they can hear my voice, I think, down the road when I'm screaming out for tables. So it is kind of fun when we do things. Texas chili turkey sandwich toasted. Randy, give me a side cup. Steak special with fries. I need another chili, Danny. Table 28. Kelly, cornbread's up. That's got to be one of the best things about owning and working in restaurants. We're a different breed. This is something that people don't realize how hectic a restaurant is. I mean, it's like behind the scenes of you have dinner from 4:30 until 9 o'clock, and you're doing 300 meals in 4 hours, and people are just flying back here. So just a lot of fun that nobody realized what it really takes to run a restaurant. It's just absolutely, it's one of my childhood dreams to always own one, and this is my third one that I've owned. Couldn't have been better. This is one of the favorite ones I've had. Local. It's just great. I love it. Absolutely love it. This is Dave. This is from Cisco. Dave Morbido has also been my rep since I started my catering business in here. If you really want to get technical in it, this is the guy who can make me money or lose me money. So it's always constantly, Dave and I are always battling back and forth to get the very best product for the very best price. But in turn, you also got to have a lot of quantity. See, we're not just a guy that comes in here and orders from him once a week. We're 2 days a week, sometimes 3. We do a lot of specialty catering. So Dave's there for any kind of new items that are coming out in the market. It's his job to bring to me new ideas or what's going in the area. Also, new product lines that are out that he knows what I try to do here. Everything's fresh. We don't really use frozen product. He knows what my production sheets are for catering and also for what we do during the week. He knows what I like to keep on inventory, so I'm not carrying a $20,000 worth of meat and produce. He knows that he's going to be here twice a week, or if I'm short on something, Dave will come down and drop it off for me, which is a huge asset to me. What we're making right here These are deep fried potato skins, and most restaurants will use bacon and cheddar on that. What we do is we do our slow cooked pulled pork in it. We cook the potatoes. We then put our pulled pork in it. We top it with a little bit of our homemade barbecue sauce. And then we top it with a 5-blend cheddar cheese. And we bake it. And you'll see the finished product in a minute. Okay, well, we just got an order in. This is garlic parm wings, one of our favorite dishes here. We shred the garlic up first thing in the morning so it stays fresh in an oil. We then add a drawn butter, salt and pepper, and we toss them in here. Right before they're finished, we'll sprinkle on some Parmesan cheese. I'll show you the next step in a couple of minutes. Now you can see we just put our wings in here. What we're gonna do is just kind of mix them around so that garlic and the butter gets all over the top of those. You can see it up here. The important piece is having the garlic all on top. We then top it with some Parmesan cheese and we mix it up. Now this stuff is going to get nice and thick because of the cheese blend. This actually is going on my new menu right now. We did this as just a sampler one time for people, and people were like oohing and on over the flavor and the profile that we gave on this. Is we top the whole piece with all the good stuff that's left on the bottom. And I'll tell you, this is what the good stuff is. And I'll tell you, after you have these things, there's not gonna be much kissing going on because this is some good stuff here. So that's what our garlic parm wings would look like. And that's the #1 seller right there. So I showed you those wagon wheels. You can see how we just topped it. We baked it all in with the cheese on that. Tell me that's not better looking than those plain old cheddar with bacon on it. This is one of our nice meals that we just came up with, a nice hearty meal that we're doing. It's a southern fried steak sandwich. It's a nice patty. We deep fry it, and then we saute it. I'm cooking ribs right now. What we do with those ribs that we got out of the smoker, we wrap them individually. We bring them back outside for about 4 days. We slow cook them in the smoker. Then what we do is we bring them in and we heat them in my convection oven at a temperature that will help us break down that back cavity. What we're doing right now is charbroiling them. We put our own sauce on top of it. We cook it on so we have a little moisture with it. Once we have that all set up, I need a small plate, Dan, too. We'll slice them to order. And we do 2 styles here. We do a Memphis style rib, which is just our dry rub. And then we do what's called the Kansas City, which is always typically a wet sauce. So what we do is on my steam table, we have our other barbecue sauce that's hot that we serve on top of it. So you'll see both of these that we ordered today are both dry rub. So you won't be seeing the wet one yet, but you will today. We do sell a lot of ribs during the day. What this is an indoor smoker. And what we do here is we have 3 different ways of cooking. We have moisture on the bottom end of this. We have a hot plate, and then we fire it with wood. Certain percentage that we cook with to give that smoke flavor. What we did with these are fresh ribs that we seasoned beforehand. We let them sit, and then we bring them out and we slow cook this. This is set now at about 250 degrees. It's gonna cook for about 6 hours. So by the time our show's over with, we're going to open this up periodically to show you the different looks in this right now. This is just a raw product with my seasoning on. These are 2 3/4 ribs. What that means is they weigh right around 2.75 pounds. Okay, there's no flat meat on them or any flat meat is the brisket meat, so it's a straight cut right down the backbone of the pig. So these will rotate, so you're going to have some moisture brought up and cooked, some wood, and then some LP gas. It's a sealed container. And we cook a lot of different meats in here at different temperatures, from our chicken, our briskets, our roasts, our prime ribs, and everything. So by the time anybody touches our pulled pork, it's cooked for close to 36 to 40 hours. So that's just different ways of using this oven compared to other ways that other people do. And that's where I think that we're a step ahead. especially from the meats that we use. The ribs that we use are only a fresh style rib, nothing frozen. So everything that we got here is all fresh meat coming in. Usually when we have these ribs here, they're pretty much even on the size. That's why we call them the 275 and downs, meaning that each rack usually has about 12 to 14 ribs. So a half order or full order are pretty equal every time. So this is my process that I was trained on when I lived down south, how they did Southern style. When we did this is something that I learned. There's 20 different ways. This right here on the machine cuts down the flue. So it's just like a wood stove that I can twist this and not allow the smoke to leave, or I can open it up and let it out. So it's like a damper that allows this to be cooked. So just by changing this by 2 circles would completely change the whole style of how we cook our meats. So we have different ways of putting how much wood we want to go in, how fast the spin cycle is, how long we cook for. I prefer a hard apple. It gives that sweetness to it. So when we do it, it's completely different from any other. You and I have different tastes, but my taste isn't always necessarily the right way because my customers are going to be telling me their taste. You know, and if I don't go by my customers, I'm not going to have a business. So it's very well done by saying, what does my customer want? How do they like it? And we go from there. We're constantly talking to our customers, walking around, making sure everything's all right. From even the style from our prime ribs that we do on Friday and Saturday, the way we cook them, we put them in here and we slow cook them. I shouldn't say slow, we put them in here, we hit them for 500 degrees for 1 hour, and then we turn it right off. Let them spin at 100, actually not off, 150 degrees for another 7 hours. So then when you pull them out, perfect 120, and we serve them right out. But we always get the customer that says, I'd like a well done prime rib or a medium well prime rib. So we're taking a piece of meat that's already been cooked for 6 hours. That's a perfect 125, which is a rare piece, which is typically the way everybody serves a prime rib. And we're cooking it again. So we're always working towards that customer and what they want.
So LJ, thanks for having us here today. Tell me a little bit about when you were bitten by the entrepreneurial bug.
Well, it's actually been from my whole family. My father actually had his own business, and he showed me how hard it was to work at something for so long to be happy.
Yep.
So since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to do things on my own.
You've always had that drive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's great. What made you want to open up a bar restaurant?
I moved back here after a divorce with my wife with my 3 kids, and
Okay.
I just said my father was heavy in the community, and I said this is what this place needs, is a nice family style restaurant.
Yeah, and I love the location, and I love the Niskayuna area. It's I love the people in the area, and I love the whole setup. Now, I know that you change up your menu quite often. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think people that like to come into restaurants, they like to see a change. So about every 6 to 8 months I come in, and what we do is we do specials throughout the 6 or 8 months before I do it to see what people like. And I walk up to tables and I'm very upfront with my customers about how they like their food and making sure everything's good, or asking them, what am I missing?
Right.
So that's how I really kind of just keep formulating new menu ideas.
So customer feedback's really important.
I wouldn't be here without my customers.
And I mean, the last time I was here, you knew pretty much all your customers by first name. It's almost like a family to you.
Oh, that's what it's all about.
I think that's so much fun, and you must love coming to work every day because, you know, it's like coming to work with your friends. So, and you get
sometimes
to feed them.
Yeah, sometimes it's not the best thing.
No,
but,
I know, yeah.
But it's a lot of fun because I have a lot of friends that do come in here, but I have couples that come in if they're traveling. It's okay for the wife to bring the kids in, or the husband to be here alone, sitting at the bar having a drink, and eating. So it's a very comfortable
yeah,
place.
I was saying, if you come here for the first time, you still feel very comfortable and at home, and you know, not like you're sitting at the bar by yourself, but you're among friends, which is great.
You can carry on a conversation with pretty much anybody.
Yeah. Now, I know you like to make things from scratch versus using frozen products or pre-canned products. Tell me a little bit about that and why you think that makes a difference.
Oh, it does. It shows people that you care. That's the first thing.
Yep.
It also, you have control. I see that a lot of these specialty chains that are out there, it's all portion controlled, it's all frozen, microwave used, and they've gotten away from what they're supposed to do, and that's supposed to be catered to the customer.
Right.
People work hard for their money, and when they go out, they want to have something special.
Absolutely.
So that's what we do.
Absolutely, and I think that's great. I mean, I think it really shows that you care. You really are, are thinking of the customer first and giving them a really quality meal. So,
sure.
Now I know you also have a catering business called Andy's Catering. How'd you get involved with that?
It's called Andy's Catering. My partner Tom, that's where the T comes from, the LT.
From the LT, gotcha, okay.
His father started it in 1972. His name was Andy Capola. He still is a great guy. And when I moved back, Tom and I were friends since we were little kids. And I told him I wanted to get back into business. His father sold it in the 90s. And Tom and I decided that we got it back from the people he sold it to. And we started Andy's Catering up for the first year. And people were just so happy to have that back in the family. So we started up, and we do everything from pig roast to lobster bakes to corporate parties to small picnics.
Wow.
So anything, we do it all.
And you can kind of do a customized menu in terms of what people are looking for?
That's the only way we do it. I don't have set menus. I don't believe that you should have something, pick one sheet.
Right.
You know, that's ridiculous. Somebody may not like something on it. Tell me what you want.
Look, a full kitchen back there, right?
I'll do
so
anything.
You can kind of produce anything. So that's, you know, I like that too, that you customize.
A special touch.
Yep, absolutely. Now, do you have any advice for someone looking to start their own business in the food or beverage industry?
I tell them to go get psychologically tested first.
It's a lot of work, right?
Oh, wow, 100+ hours a week. But it's somebody that's got to have energy and somebody that's got to be here at all times.
Right.
Not saying that I don't trust anybody. I have a great group of people that work with me here. I'm very blessed. But you have to be present for a business like this.
Right.
And for anybody that's going to get into it, you got to have some energy.
Right.
And you've got to be able to trust people, and you've got to be able to know the front of the house as well as the back of the house.
Right.
And know the business well. Know where your money's being spent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that probably makes for, you know, the reason why you're so successful is because you're so involved.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Hey, 5 years is a good run. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, we just signed up for another 10 years, so I'm
oh
really
my
happy
God,
about that.
and I'm sure you'll go for another 10 after that.
Well, I hope
too.
so.
Yeah, you definitely will. What are some of the biggest challenges you face in today's economy?
Well, it's just catering to the customer. Everybody knows how the economy is and how tough it is right now. We're still trying to get every meal on the menu under $20.
That's awesome.
We still do our Tuesday Buy Kids meals. We try to run specials. We're out there in a lot of coupon magazines. We're doing discounts. We're also huge on our website that if you sign in, you get special points for that. So what we're doing for the economy is, I think, what every business is just scratching away to keep people happy.
Right. What are some of your goals and aspirations for the business?
Well, I think, you know, when I first started was to open up a bunch of them. And I think I just got too big of a dream. And I think I'm just happy here. I would love to see a waiting line every night. That's what I think every restaurant would want. But I think that my biggest goal here is to figure out how to tell people that are 15 miles, 20 miles from here about LT's Grill. That's been my hardest, and that's my biggest goal, is to how to market a great restaurant.
Spread the word, right. Has ShopRite, you know, I know that they were recently open, has that helped, you know, with the exposure and things like that?
Well, it's been great because it was called the Ghost Mall. Again, it was another restaurant in here and a couple other small shops for years, and to have an anchor like ShopRite and the money that they're putting into the mall is fantastic.
Yeah.
Parking's been an issue, but we've got a designated area for the other patrons of the mall.
Oh, that's good.
So it's been a great run. I only think it's going to get better.
Right.
So I think a lot of people that haven't been here, that came back for ShopRite, said, wow, I didn't know a restaurant was here.
Yeah.
So that's going to help us out.
And you stand out too. I mean, even driving by, I can see the LT's Grill, like it kind of caught my eye the first time I drove by, so that's helpful.
Yeah, we're going to put a toll on Balltown Road, 50 cents. So anybody that comes by has to go through my toll.
I like that. That's
I think that might work.
That'll work. That'll work. Are you involved with any community events or organizations?
Well, that's a big part here at my business. I'm a very blessed person. I have both my parents. I have my whole family supportive of me. I have 3 wonderful children, and I've taught them what it means to be happy and successful.
Yeah.
So what we do is we work with the Niskuna PBA, and we do a lot of work with the St. Peter's ALS Fund.
Okay.
It was unfortunately, we found out a few years ago that one of the police officers' wife was diagnosed with ALS. So over the last 2 or 3 years, we've raised tens of thousands of dollars for the ALS.
That's great.
Makes me very happy.
We also, good to give back.
Yeah, that is just one of the biggest things. We also do a community fund. Mike Walsh from the Niskuna PBA, a very good friend, has helped me for the last 3 years. We find families in need. It's not a public piece. We don't advertise for it. We work with some of the schools, and we find families that are in need for the holidays. We bring them in here for breakfast. My staff and myself and the PBA come in, and I cook them a full turkey dinner.
That's fantastic.
We put it in a box, and it's from turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, vegetable, salad, dessert, rolls and butter. We put it in a box, and they get to take that home. And then the PBA goes out and shops for each individual child. And we have a gift time. They eat breakfast, and they go home. And it's just something that's very touching. My children help out. Which I try to show to them. It's not about gifts at the holidays, it's about who you can help.
It's always really nice to make those memories with children too. I mean, that's such a great thing to do. And a warm meal in a great environment, you know, like that's what the holidays are all about.
That's right,
So,
that's right.
What are some of the accomplishments that you've had since being in business? Have you won any contests or anything?
Yeah, well, we've been open for 5 years, so that's a huge one there.
That's a huge milestone for sure.
Yeah, we had a Battle of the Ribs in Albany. We came in first place. We battled about 15 different restaurants on our ribs. We won a competition over at Joe Reno Stadium for wings. Our dry rub is just absolutely wonderful. So those are a couple of the ones that we've done. We don't really do them. We don't do the one in Troy because we feel that's an outreach for people to come back.
Right. I mean, your ribs and your wings, I got to try both. They were exceptional, so I can see.
Try them again.
I can see why you won those. It was. I mean, they're both awesome. Do you have any funny or interesting or unique stories since being in business?
Yeah, one of the funniest ones that I'll just never forget. I never like to say no to anybody when they come in. If it's 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock, we've been closed. I hate to have somebody walk away.
Right.
So Mondays we only open for lunch. And I usually do my work. Everybody's gone. It's kind of quiet time here after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So for some reason I left the front door open, and I'm working at the bar, and I had to go into my office, and I come back and there's a couple sitting at one of the tables, and I said, "Excuse me, but we're closed." And I said, "Oh, you know, we heard about your pulled pork sandwich. We just really wanted a pulled pork sandwich." I said, "Okay, folks." I said, "Sit back. I'll be right back. I'll make you a couple pulled pork sandwiches and some fries." So I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking, I walk back, and there's 2 more tables sitting there. So from 2 o'clock till about 5:30, I fed about 18 people.
Oh my gosh.
So that was probably one of the funniest times.
Yeah.
And
you know, just coming in like,
it just wouldn't stop, and I couldn't say no because 2 people are
well,
eating and another people are eating.
Yeah, you got the ball rolling, and now you're like, well, now I got to feed all these people.
It was funny.
Yeah, hey, you need a pulled pork sandwich. You got to get one. You know what I mean? You have the craving, and
if they
this
drove
is the place
here to get one,
get it.
that's
right. Now we hear a lot about your ribs. Can we see how you make them?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I will be glad to show you a little bit of the secret how we do it.
All right, we're gonna head into the kitchen with LJ to see how he whips up these awesome ribs. All right, LJ is gonna show us how these ribs are made. All right, let's see how you do it, LJ.
All right, I just took these out of our convection oven. That we do is we wrap these after they come out of the smoker, and then we bake them for quite a while. So they're nice and hot right now. We take them out of the plastic.
What does wrapping them do?
What it does is it helps the fat break down, and our seasoning that we have on it, it breaks into the skin and into the meat of the ribs.
Okay.
So when we do this, it's actually, because there's sugar inside of our rub, it actually almost crystallizes on there, so it gives us a nice shell. Okay. We got it on our nice charbroil right now, and then we take it and we just take our barbecue sauce. Yeah. And what this does is it's going to seal everything in. So all the rub and everything. Now this is still a little different from our Kansas City style. Okay. Every rib that we have, we do this just a very small amount of barbecue sauce on that, just so it keeps all my seasoning put in. Now the ribs are already fully cooked. This is the 3rd time they're being cooked now. Okay. So what we really want to do is once we put this on here, we really just want to bring it in there and get all the juices rolling on this rib.
This is kind of sealing the deal.
Sealing the deal.
Gotcha.
So we're just putting a little sauce on here.
Yep. So you just kind of sear each side a little bit at this point? Okay.
And we like to bake that right in there. Sometimes we'll go to 2 sides, just depends on how we like to see it. Okay. We like to make sure that we see it actually popping, the meat getting nice and juicy. You can hear those popping right there, right? So you can see from both sides how this is starting to break down and how this is all starting to tighten right into the meat.
It looks like it's kind of just like a coating that's just being sealed right on there.
And remember, the pork absorbs as much as it can. When we do our butts or we do other pork products, the more juices that you give it just absolutely sucks in all that beautiful. That's why most people that cook pork chops, they get them really dry. It's because they aren't putting enough moisture into it. Okay. So that's been the secret, is just letting people know the more juice that you put on there, the juicier it's going to be at the end.
For myself, because I'm not the best cook, so I'm definitely going to keep that in mind. I got to watch the expert here.
Hey, listen, we're open 7 days a week. You know, it's a good place to eat.
I might as well just come here. So
There you go.
Probably a better
There you
idea.
go. So from here, what we do, this would be called a full rack.
Okay.
Okay, this shows you it's got about 14 racks, and we use a special cut rib. Again, this is a 2.75 down. That means that this rib weighs more than 2.75 pounds. It's also a St. Louis cut where you see the first rib equal to the last rib.
Okay.
So inside of here, we usually have about 14 ribs that we cut from.
Wow.
So we'll serve this as a half a rack or a full rack.
Wow. And how many people does that, I guess it depends on how much you like the ribs?
That's right. One full order, if somebody orders a full rack, they get the whole thing, or a half rack, they get the whole, or a kids rack, they get 4 ribs.
Okay.
So it's all cut up in different sizes.
Yeah, for me, I'm more of a 14 rib kind of girl.
We're going to give you a shot at that.
All right,
How's that
sounds good. All right, let me taste these things. They
You
look
got
awesome.
it. Let's go right over to a cutting board.
Oh my gosh, here they come. My God, look at the plate of this. Oh my gosh. There's 14 ribs, there's mashed potatoes, there's cream corn, there's cornbread. All right, I'm going for this big boy right here. Oh my gosh. These are like fall off the bone, delicious. There is so much meat on these. These are exceptional. If you're a rib fan, you've got to get down here to LT's Grill and try these ribs. They are so, so good. Even if you don't like ribs, they've got a huge menu. Their chicken wings are phenomenal. So you're gonna get down here. Thanks so much for tuning in to Bite Me. We'll see you next time.
Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.